What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to talk about some free plugins because I know not everybody wants to spend their money on or can't afford to buy all kinds of fancy plugins and still want something a little bit different than what is provided by their DAW or digital audio workstation. So this is a list about some of my favorite free plugins that I use all the time and that I highly recommend. So let's go. So first off, we're going to start off with T-Force Alpha Plus, which is a free subtractive synthesizer, which also does some FM. It has 3 oscillators, and also has a modulation section with a filter, 2 LFOs, and some envelopes for your amplitude and your filter. I love this synth because it sounds clean, and for some reason I love the way square saws sound through this synth. I use it a lot. I use it all the time actually, as plucks and arps and stuff, and sometimes just for chords. I think it's very versatile. It comes with a lot of different presets, all focused for trance, but of course with today's electronic music you can use a sound for any genre. Now, of course, we have an LFO, so it's not just the basic stuff. You have 2 LFOs, you can come up with some cool ideas, and it also LFOs pitch, which allows you to do FM and all kinds of other different things that you can send your LFO to. And of course, you can make basses with this as well. It's not just leads and plucks and everything. You can make all kinds of stuff with it if you choose to get creative, especially with this arpeggiator section over here, which I tend not to use very much, but it is still a very cool feature in my opinion. We also have a bit crusher here, which allows you to do some interesting sound design as well. It sounds cool on plucks with a little bit of crisp on top from the bit crusher. And it has a built-in sidechain effects, which allows you to already sidechain it without any external plugins, which is a very cool feature, and I think a lot of plugins should have that, even though most plugins lets you create it with LFOs and such, but it's nice to have a little section just for sidechaining. This next plugin is called Sat Front. It's a sound font player. It's good for people who have a certain version of FL Studio that only includes the demo version of the sound font player and don't have any other plugins or libraries to play, let's say, orchestral sounds or strings or anything like that. So this lets you import sound fonts which are free in abundance on the internet with all kinds of sounds. And the thing that I think is better about this than sound font player is that it has effects sections. It has all kinds of modulation sections. So as you can see, we have a filter, we have chorus on the side here, flanger, the flanger, the phaser, delay, built-in reverb. So it lets you already shape and customize your sound inside of the plugin rather than having to add external plugins. And it also lets you manipulate the sound itself, which Sound Font Player doesn't let you do either. So you can do all kinds of funky stuff. I mean, you can take a brass like I have here and, make a riser out of it. Next up is an effects plugin called Alga Verb, and there's not much to say about this one. It's very simple, it's very basic. It may not be as high quality as some of the other effects plugins for reverb, but it definitely gets the job done, and it's very quick and easy to use. Now I'm gonna use this little bass here I made in 3XOC, very simple, to showcase some of the other effects plugins. The first one is Camel Crusher, which is very simple as well. Two different distortion types, a filter, a master volume, and a compressor with a fat mode, which really beefs up your sound. Now this plugin is very simple, it's easy to overuse, but if you want that warm tube distortion kind of sound, then this is definitely the plugin to use for that one. Next up we have the Talbot Crusher, which they have a lot of different free plugins that you can download. Here's all the stuff you can find on their website: chorus, bassline VSTs, TAL Electro, really cool sounds out of those, and cool effects as well. Definitely a lot of good stuff, which is all free for you to download. So I definitely recommend these. Definitely worth checking out. Next up we have a plugin called OTT. It's a multi-band up-down compressor, and it is made by Steve Duda from Xfer Records. He's the guy who made Serum, and on their website there's also all these different plugins which you can find. OTT being, like Ableton's OTT plugin, like an emulation of that. Also have the Dimension Expander, which is similar to the one from Massive. So all kinds of cool stuff here to even out, flatten out, or even beef up your sound. Next up we have a stereo tool, Widemouth, which lets you make a mono sound stereo. Very simple. Two knobs and a button which just switches the inversion or the delay, I would say, of the different channels, left and right. So here we have a tool called Vibrato. It's part of a bundle, actually, a free bundle. Unfortunately, it's a trial, and in order to, well, you can still use the plugins after the trial, but in order to remove that sound, that high white noise sound that plays every few seconds or so, you would have to upgrade. But the reason I'm still listing it is because it's, well, an awesome bundle. It's probably worth the upgrade, but even if you just use the trial, you can still bounce down your sounds into audio and I guess kind of negate that. But they do have a lot of different plugins included in this bundle. Analyzers, panning, also each plugin, I've noticed, seems to have a multi-band version of that. So if you have a comb filter, you have a multi-band comb filter, multi-band compression, multi-band vibrato, multi-band wobbler, everything. Well, I should say almost everything. I don't know about everything, but half of the pack is just multi-band versions of these plugins as well. So definitely very interesting. So here we have the M Dynamics, which is an EQ, just another EQ. And alright, here we have the multi-band dynamics, which is a multi-band compressor. Very awesome multi-band compressor. Definitely love it. And here we have Span, which is made by Voxengo. It's awesome. I love this. I use it all the time. It's very accurate on showing you the spectrum and lets you analyze your songs or your sounds actually very accurately. And you can also hone in on the quality of the spectrum being displayed. You can zoom in, and over here you can see that it actually shows you the note corresponding to the frequency. So it lets you detect, I guess, your kicks, your snares, your sounds, whatever something is playing. You can see what it's playing at by checking the peaks here, and you can see the amount of hertz very accurately. And another cool thing is that you can also analyze stereo versus mono. and this will be indicated by the colors here displayed. And that's pretty much it. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you check some of these plugins out. You have a good one.